How's it going, guys? Zach Ginn here. Welcome to today's video where we're really going to breaking down acquisitions training for people that hate acquisitions. That's really what I want to focus on today, is training you on your acquisitions in your real estate wholesaling business. And really, I want to talk to the people that hate acquisitions or say, I suck at acquisitions or I'm terrible at it. What I really want to do is give you a basic breakdown of it and show you why, if you're bad at acquisitions, why you're not really bad at it. You've just been taught it the wrong way. Maybe your local guru told you need to grind it out and, grind and do stuff you hate. If you hate acquisitions, it's probably because you're not doing it right. Or honestly, you're just being taught the wrong way, like I said before. But if you're being taught the wrong way, there's a right way to do it if you quote unquote hate acquisitions, for you to do a lot better in it and get better results in your real estate wholesaling business. So I'm really excited for it. Remember, before we start, always smash that like button and subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm so I can help you in your real estate wholesaling business. And my goal here on the YouTube channel is to help you make over $100,000 per year in real estate wholesaling profits. I know we can get that by just you subscribing and helping out the content on the channel. But really, if you're brand new into acquisitions for real estate wholesaling, this is an important video for you to watch. So I'm really going to give it from a perspective of just a clean slate. Let's break down acquisitions the way it should be taught. And the way I'm going to teach it is the way that they'll teach it if you pay $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 for a real estate wholesaling mastermind or a quote unquote mentorship. You get the calls and everything. This is the way that they teach real estate wholesaling. And they charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, these gurus, just to learn the information I'm about to give you. And the information I give is a slightly different because I actually run a real operation and I know what works or not doesn't. And it's something a little against the grain of most wholesalers because I actually do this business. So I'm really excited for it. Remember, guys, smash that like button and subscribe. This is also a live video. So remember, you need to ask your questions. Ask your questions live. That's the only way I think I can interact with you and help you out. So if you can do that, let's get it going. We got some people hopping on here, so pretty exciting. I am pumped up for it. But really, let's start breaking it down. So acquisitions. Why do you want to get good at acquisitions? You might think, oh, I'll just get really good at marketing and I won't really focus on acquisitions, or I'll get really good at dispo and I'll just JV things. The reason why acquisitions is so important is it opens the doors to so many things. It is so important. So acquisitions is your local guru will tell you it's the art of closing the deal and getting down the boiler room and closing deals on the phone and being the big man, Wolf of Wall Street type thing. And it's really not about that. Closing deals and being very good with your acquisitions process is about knowing how to communicate to people effectively. That's it. You don't need to be a good talker. You don't need to be the super smooth, slick salesman. You just have to understand how to become yourself. That's what acquisitions is about. I'm going to say that one more time. Knowing how to talk with yourself and act normal in front of a seller is 90% of the battle in acquisitions. If you can understand how to actually become a real human being when you're talking to sellers and actually caring about the sellers and their situation, your results for acquisitions in real estate wholesaling will skyrocket. You will get contracts over your competition so easily if you know exactly how to drive a conversation a certain way, so you can uncover information that your competition won't. And you can go out there, create urgency with your sellers, use like the car method, use the $100 method when you're talking to sellers to really get prices out of sellers that they really shouldn't give you, or if they peg you in a corner. I'm going to talk about all those methods I got today. And the reason why I'm calling them the $100 method and the car method is because, like, you go to a Facebook advertisement thing and they'll say, if you join my $5,000 system, I'll show you the car method on closing deals. And it's a regular method, but it's a little hidden, but it's a little gem, and they'll use a crazy name for it to suck you in. So I'm gonna use that and see if that sucks people into getting my free information, so you guys can actually not pay $5,000 for a guru course. Seriously, I'm trying to put these people out of business. So we're going to teach that today. I'm also going to really show you the difference between lead gen and acquisitions. They're kind of intertwined, but I really want to break them down very importantly. And also, just lastly, we're going to talk about Rick's favorite, which is the little scrunchy face thing. And that's going to change a lot of the way that you close your deals. So let's break it down really quick right now in this video. At the end here, I'm going to do a Q&A with the audience about acquisitions in real estate wholesaling. I really want to help you guys out, close deals. And we're going to talk negotiating, everything today, really. Just remember, smash that like button and subscribe, and let's get it going. So what I want to talk about really quickly is why is acquisitions important and why you should start to learn it. And maybe you're really good at acquisitions, but why is it important that you still learn it and keep up and listen to all information? When it comes to anything real estate wholesaling, I'll listen to any guru or coach. I want to hear their opinions on it, because if I listen to enough of it, some new stuff's going to come out and it'll be very interesting, or a different perspective on a thing that I'll use for a deal, and it'll change up the way you look at everything. So it's very important to be doing that, constantly getting better in real estate wholesaling process. It is super, super important. So the one thing I want to talk about really quickly is acquisitions opens the door to so many things. So if you can learn how to be very good at closing deals, talking to sellers with your acquisitions, if you get very good at that, it opens the door to so many great things. It opens the door to cold calling. It opens the door to your dispositions process, door knocking, all of your marketing. Acquisitions will open up so many doors in the rest of your real estate wholesaling operation that not a lot of things can translate really well. Acquisitions translates to everything. I'm going to say this again. It translates to everything, even in your personal life. If you want to go out and meet friends, knowing how to talk to people and just having conversation and really learning how people communicate is super important. And I'm going to break some secrets for you. If you're watching this, you're like, Zach, I'm an introvert. I'm terrible at that. Makes you a better acquisitions person. I'm going to break down everything. I'm telling you, if you're scared or you don't like talking to people, you actually makes you a better acquisitions person. I'm going to show you exactly how to use that introvertness. Is that a word? Introvertness? I think so. But using you being an introvert to your advantage versus if you're an extrovert, I'm going to show you how to use that to your advantage. But really, if you probably hate acquisitions if you're an introvert because you hate the talking to people, closing deals type thing. Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to switch that, flip the switch on there so you can be really good at closing. It's really cool. Acquisitions, people don't talk about it because most of these coaches are like big extrovert people that just try to slam everything down at your throat. I'm very analytical and I'm very good at closing deals because I know exactly how to use my analytical advantage over my competition. So it's really fun. I can't wait to do it. Also, probably the most important part is acquisitions is what feeds the family. It's what puts food on the table for you to actually go out there and thrive and actually get your real estate wholesaling deals. Without your right acquisition skills, I don't care you get all the leads. If you're stuck at acquisitions, you're not going to get deals done. So, and a very bad acquisitions is really one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people suck at wholesaling and they're not getting their deals. It's usually never a lead flow problem because lead flow is easy. You just got to spend more time marketing. If your dispo's bad, you're honestly in this market, it's very hard not to get your deals sold. So that's not really a good excuse. But acquisitions is the one thing that you need to start training. And acquisitions is a muscle. I'm going to explain that. But acquisitions is truly a muscle. You have to exercise it almost on a daily basis, training and getting better at the sales skills and actually being in the industry and going out there and doing it. My gym is me going out there closing deals or cold calling 2 or 3 hours. That is my training for acquisitions, and it's paid off immensely. I've closed so many deals. We've closed $100,000 deals, $70,000, $60,000 deals because I know exactly how to talk to sellers and I know how to break these deals down. So I think it's really important, and you guys need to start learning how to do it. So again, acquisitions translates to everything. So lead generation versus acquisitions. I think it's very important we talk about this before we really get in the nitty gritty of everything, because it's very important to separate them, but it's also important to know that it's very hard to separate these. So if I'm cold calling, there's a big difference between the cold calling side that is actual marketing, and there's a huge difference between the cold calling side that is acquisitions. That side really shifts once the seller says yes or maybe that they're interested in selling the property. Once they indicate that to us, things change. It is no longer a game of when can I get this deal, like is it a lead or not, to actually going out there and getting these deals done. So once the seller says they're looking to sell the property, we're not in marketing mode. We're in acquisitions mode. We're here to actually get these deals done and get them sold. Like that is the point. So really important that the difference between the two. When I talk about cold calling, really on the marketing side, it's really about the grind of just dialing until you get a yes. And then the acquisitions mode starts getting in. We put in their CRM, our customer relationship manager, usually a Podio or something like that. That's really where we start going at. We start doing the follow-ups. We start getting really in the nitty-gritty of the wholesaling process acquisitions-wise so we can get deals done. So Acquisitions is very important. It is part of lead generation. So from the top, let's get it going. So what are motivated sellers? If you're brand new in this business, what are motivated sellers? Even if you've wholesaled for a while, we need to really revisit what a motivated seller is, because a lot of you guys are being taught wrong. You probably saw someone on TikTok talk about wholesaling. You joined their course. It didn't teach you much. And now you're stuck watching me because you know it's free and you got no money. So why are you like this? Like, why are you not getting deals? It's because you're learning about motivated sellers the wrong way. And everyone knows that the stuff here on this channel is better than any course. And it's not really a big secret anymore. We got tens of thousands of people following us and giving us really their support, which I'm super grateful for. So they understand we know what we're talking about. We actually do this business for real. These big people out there, these YouTubers, they're not doing deals. So they're learning about acquisitions the wrong way. They don't understand motivated sellers. So what is a true motivated seller? A true motivated seller is somebody, hear me out, that wants to sell their property cash. That is a motivated seller. It's very important that you understand that. Why am I talking like a fourth grader here when I'm giving this definition? This is because most people think a motivated seller is anyone who's on a mailing list or on a SMS list or a cold calling list. It's very important to understand that we can't turn people into a motivated seller. They have to be a motivated seller themselves. It's like learning code for a computer. It's a binary. It's 1 or 0. That's it. It cannot be anything else. It's black or white. Are they a motivated seller or not? There's no in between. Either they are or they aren't. Are they looking to sell the property for cash or they're not? If they aren't, we're not dealing with them. These are not people that should be in our acquisitions process. That is something for marketing to take care of. The marketing wants to find the motivated seller. Once we get the motivated seller, it's on the acquisitions person to close it and get a contract. Super, super important to understand that. If we're talking to people that don't want to sell their property for cash, they are not worth our time in acquisitions. Let me see this one more time. If we have someone and they don't want to sell the property for cash, we don't want to deal with them. This is a wholesaling real estate acquisitions training. This is not a subject to or creative finance acquisitions training. We can do a lot of creative, funny stuff with it, but really they should want to cash offer on their property too. So it's probably not the best one out there if they're not, but motivated sellers, we need to understand that. And once they indicate they want to sell property cash, now we need to start flowing the conversation when we're talking to these sellers over the phone, not over text, over the phone, with the 4 pillars of talking to motivated sellers. There's 4 things we need to talk to our motivated sellers about to understand if they are worth it for us to pursue. Only 4 things. This is how simple it should be. What is their motivation for selling the property? Why are they looking to sell? Is it because your grandma died and they inherited the house? Is there a bunch of code violations and they don't want to take care of it? There's too much repairs that need to be done on the property. Is it a fire damage property? What is the reason? Did they get a new job relocation? It's very important for us to understand the motivation for someone to want to sell the property. Next here is condition. What is the condition of the property? What is it like? Does it need a lot of repairs? Does it not? Is it in perfect condition? Super, super duper important that we understand what the condition of the property is. Next here is time frame. What is the time frame they're actually looking to sell the property? Are they looking to sell the property, within a week? Is this within a month? Is this within 6 months? We really need to understand this because knowing the time frame could really help us understand if they're truly motivated or not. Last here is price. What price are they looking to sell this property for? Are they looking to sell the property for, $500,000, $400,000, $300,000? Very important that we understand a ballpark range where we're at so we can actually go out there and get these deals done. Most people underestimate what the price is or they freak out if the price is too high. I just ask the price just to see where a general ballpark is because I got to see if they're in La La Land over there in Los Angeles or if they're more down to earth on a decent price where I can actually build rapport and actually get them down in price. Acquisitions, guys, comes down to one thing also. The one thing I can tell you between an expert acquisitions person, this could be an introvert, this could be an extrovert, it could really be anyone. But the main difference between someone who's out there, an absolute killer in real estate wholesaling, and someone who's not when it comes to the acquisitions process, it's just one thing. It's confidence. Confidence will make or break you in acquisitions. It's not if you're good at talking to anyone. It's not if you're a slick salesman or saleswoman. It's about how confident you are talking to your sellers and how much confidence you have in yourself to help them in their situation. That is where so much skills and actually so much deals are being done right now. The people with the most confidence are getting the deals. And if you're bad at acquisitions or you're not good at it, this is the one gem I can tell you right now. Acquisitions is all about confidence. If you cannot exude confidence with your seller that you can help them in their situation, you will fail in acquisitions. That's it. Confidence is everything. You might ask yourself, Zach, how do you build confidence? Confidence is very important for you to build. I would generally say that confidence is made. It's not something you have. And really, confidence is a belief in yourself. That's what it boils down to. Do you actually believe that you can help your motivated seller out in real estate wholesaling or not? It's ultimately up to you if you truly believe if you can help the seller out or not. I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sellers last year and the years before in real estate wholesaling. And I've actually helped them get their deals sold. We've bought these properties cash. My name's on the deeds. I know for a fact that when I go talk to a seller, my acquisitions person talks to a seller, our company can go out there and buy their property cash, or we have partners that can buy it cash, aka or cash buyers, and we can truly help our sellers out. I know this for a fact. I can say with every grain of my body that I can actually get a deal done and actually help the seller out. So I have the confidence for myself. The second piece of confidence is confidence in yourself that you can go out there and talk to the seller. It's not really about you understanding the property. It's actually knowing that you can talk to the seller, care about them, and you know that you can actually get their problem solved. That's what it's all about. The next big tip I can give you right here is actually care for your seller. This is a very rare thing in real estate wholesaling or in general human beings, but actually caring about your seller in real estate wholesaling is super important. If you want to start getting deals done versus you see deals slipping away from your fingers, you're not getting deals done. It's about actually truly caring about your seller, their issues, and their problems. If you do not care about your seller in real estate wholesaling, you will honestly not eat. There would be no food at your table. If you're going out there for yourself for a check, if you go out there to meet a seller because you want to go out there and just make a quick buck off of them, you're not gonna get a good deal. You might get a $5,000, $6,000 deal, but truly the ones where you make $30,000 or $40,000 is when you truly understand the seller and their issue. I can tell you this one more time. Understanding about the seller, actually giving a bleep about your seller situation, actually having empathy about them, not like it's just empathy versus apathy. Empathy is super important. I can tell you right now, you need to care about your seller. This is the most important thing. I'm trying to bring empathy back in this real estate wholesaling business. Actually caring about your network, caring about other wholesalers, having empathy for your seller is the difference between everything, guys. So start caring about your seller, start digging deeper in their situations and what you can do to help them out. It's super important, guys. I'm telling you, karma is real in acquisitions. I'm not getting in religious debate with you guys about karma or anything. I can tell you what comes around goes around when it comes to your sellers. And it's not because I don't think about this religious thing or I do something good and the heavens is going to bless me. It's because statistically, if you truly care about your seller in real estate wholesaling, then your confidence will go up actually caring about them. And when you truly care versus the fake caring, your seller will actually see the real you and actually see you truly care. You actually putting the extra effort into actually caring about their situation. You'll go get deals done. Now, this is for my introverts out there. I promised you I was going to talk about it, but 80 to 90% of good acquisitions is listening, not talking. This is a gem that is hidden somewhere, let's say in a $6,000 real estate wholesaling acquisitions bootcamp seminar. I'm not going to say we're in the United States, but I've got recordings of it. People have shown me courses. Very big person that actually has this. I'm not going to talk about it, but They talk about this a lot, but this is within the course. Like you got to pay $6,000 to see this, or go to their boot camp or whatever in a hotel room and, sit for 4 days. But this is the one thing you're going to get out of that whole event. And it's true. I didn't even realize this till I saw the recording of this, and I haven't really talked about it much, but 80 to 90% of good acquisitions people, it's about listening, not talking. What do I mean by this? If you're talking to your motivated seller, it's very important that you're not a chatty Cathy with them. It's important you ask and learn how to understand and ask the right questions to get the most information out so you can help the person out. If you ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's very important that you do very certain things. If you ask the right questions, that's what it's about. Good podcasts. It's not about the person who's the host talking really well. I mean, there's some one-on-one podcasts that I like, but it's about the host asking really good, in-depth, quality questions that brings the most out of the audience, out of the guest. And that's super important. That's why when you're talking to your motivated sellers, it's very important you know how to ask the right questions. That brings us back to the 4 pillars. If you're stuck and you don't know how to talk to your seller, ask about the condition, ask about the motivation, the timeline, the price. You can learn how to talk to sellers and say the right things. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened to you. Can you explain more about the situation? You go in the house and you see a Miami Dolphins helmet. Oh my gosh, are you a big Dolphins fan? Just knowing how to ask the right questions is super important. You running over the seller and talking too much, you're not going to get the deal done. It's about asking the right questions. It's super important in real estate wholesaling business. I can tell you it has changed the game for us. And that's what we get everyone to do. I cannot tell you that enough. It's super important. Next year is we're going to talk about bad words. There is no words that you should be saying in your real estate wholesaling business. It's a big no. Do not say these words. These are the words you should not say. Don't say investor. Bad. Just act like you're a normal person trying to buy someone's property. And really you are. Don't use the I word. Don't use investor. It's going to throw your seller off and your competition is going to beat you if you use that word. Don't use investor. Here's the C word in real estate. Contract. Do not say contract. Do not say contract, guys. Say paperwork instead. I cannot tell you when I started out in wholesaling how many $40,000 deals I did when I was 18 years old that turned into $20,000 deals because I said the C word. I said contract. Say paperwork instead. It will save you so much money. Oh my gosh, it will save you so much money. Real estate lingo. Do not use real estate lingo with your motivated sellers. Don't use it. Use it when you're networking with other people, but do not use real estate lingo when you're talking to your motivated sellers. Stuff like ARV, comps, TAV. Hey, talk to your seller. Talk to them as you would talking about real estate with your mother. Are you going to run over your seller and use these big confusing terms and make your mom feel bad about real estate? No. You're going to break down real estate into a general level so the average person can understand it. Not everyone watches hours and hours of videos like I have on my channel about real estate. And your mom's not going to. So you got to have to break it down to them very simply. So we might not use comps, but we might use, hey, I saw the house across the street there on 1432 2nd Street. That sold for $100,000, and that was a 3.2 also. And then you're going to say on this one that sold, but that was a 4.2, and that sold for a lot more than what you're trying to get here, or a lot less. So don't use comps. Use something like that. ARV, don't use ARV. Say, if I get this whole thing fixed up, it's probably worth X. Don't say the ARV is probably X. It'll be huge, guys. Might be very simple for more advanced people watching this, but this little stuff right here is going to change the game for you getting a deal on a property or not. Next here is tone and tonality. Your tone and tonality with your sellers and also matching your seller's energy is super important. You guys need to match your seller. So if I'm talking to a motivated seller and they're super hyper and they're hyped up and they're talking really fast, really excited, you're going to have to match that energy. I say match the energy because that's what the younger people like to call it. If you're a little older and you've gone through sales trainings, it's tone and tonality. But I'll say match your energy. We're going to help the younger generation out today. So match your energy is super important. You have to match them. If they're very slow and drawn out and they talk very, very, very slow, and I'm looking to sell the property, because you have to match the energy, guys. You have to. Learning this stuff and practicing it is a little different, but this is the stuff that is hidden between these huge, big courses that honestly, I can't tell you. Match your energy. People need to understand that. Big deals, guys. Big deals is about knowing about the seller versus knowing about the property. The best real estate wholesalers and the best acquisitions people in real estate wholesaling, they don't give a bleep about the property. They don't care about the property. They don't care. They care about the seller and the situation. This comes back full circle what I've talked about before in this video. It's about knowing the seller, their issue, versus knowing about the property. I have competition that runs up to these properties and they come with a ruler. They go with their measuring equipment and they do tests. They do moisture tests in the drywall. They do a bunch of advanced. They go up in the attic. They look outside. They run numbers. They do transgressional analysis on comps in the area, and they do all these crazy things, and they don't get the deal. They're not talking to the seller. They're making measurements and checking comp. Like they're checking the paint. They're chipping it out and looking at it, and freaking about if there's a little water leak on the one end, and they're doing all this crazy stuff. And then I walk up and I say, "Hey, how's it going? I see you got a Mets bobblehead there. Oh my gosh, I love the Mets. Really? Wow. Let's talk about the Mets. We're going to talk about the New York Mets. We're going to talk about how much we love baseball. We're going to talk about how much we hate the Yankees. We're going to talk about all the Mets baseball players, and we're going to go from there. I've talked about the Marlins. We're going to talk about the Marlins. We're going to have a sports talk or something. Or if I see a fishing rod, we're going to talk about snook fishing in the river. And then when I leave and the seller thinks, who should I go with? They're both at the same price. Should I go with me, or should I go with the person who didn't spend any time knowing about them or their situation and they only really cared about the property? They're going to go with me. Like that's how it goes. We're going to talk about me because I actually understood the seller. We talked about it. I talked about Alonso from the Mets. Like we're talking about baseball players, and we're going to go and just going to get with me. I'm going to get the contract versus them because I cared more about the seller versus the other person who cared about the property. Very important. You still understand about the property, but you don't have to be an expert. It's super important, guys, that you understand this. And if you want to get big deals, this is the little shifts that you have to start doing for you to get big wholesaling real estate deals. Another thing not a lot of people understand is you need to be disinterested in the acquisitions process, not with your marketing. That's why it's very important. I shifted in the beginning the difference between lead generation and acquisitions. Once we're in acquisitions mode, it's all about being disinterested and always be leaving. So be disinterested and always be leaving. What I mean by this is when you're being disinterested, the way to really explain it is you have to not be mean, but you really have to not care about the seller to a point. So you have to care about the seller, but you have to be not interested in the deal, if that makes sense. So what I mean by this, if I'm talking to the seller, we're talking about the Mets, we're having a great time. I care about the situation. They got a code violation. They can't afford the property. There's too many repairs. I care. I'm interested in their situation and helping them out. But when it comes to the deal and they give me a $90,000 price, I'm not going to be like, 90,000 too high. I got 5 other deals here. Honestly, I don't have to buy this house. I'm really sorry, but if I want to help you out, I'm going to be at, 60,000. Be disinterested about the deal and that price, and that will create fear at the seller, will get you a deal. So always be leaving. So care about the seller, but don't care about the deal. That's the best way I can put it. And let's talk about the offer price and getting prices with the seller. This is really fun. Let's go over the CAR method really quick. So never say the price first. That's the one thing in negotiating if you're brand new in real estate wholesaling that I can show you is never say the price first. And you start doing the CAR method. Now, what is the CAR method? The CAR method is, let's say you're talking to a seller and you're cold calling them and they say, Zach, what's the price you're going to... Zach, what's the price you're going to give me at the property? What's the price you're going to give me for the house, Zach? I'm like, well, I don't know yet. I got to look at the property. And they're like, Zach, no, I have no time for this, Zach. What is the price you're going to give me for the house? I'm going to give them the car method trick. This is very important, guys. Write this down. Okay, John. Do you want a price right now? Yes, I want a price right now. I get 500 calls. I need to sell the property, but I need to know what your price is right now. I get 5 calls a day. I'm sick of it. Okay, well, John, I have a quick question for you, then I'll tell you. Yeah. What's your question? Have you ever bought a car? Yes, I bought a car. Well, when you bought that car, I'm assuming you test drove it, right? Of course I test drove the car. Well, what price? What does this mean? Why are you give me the price of the property? Well, the one thing I can tell you about a car is you need to test drive it before you bought it. That's why you did that on your car, right? Yes. But what does this mean with anything? Well, your car is exactly like your house. Why would I spend hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, if the property's worth less, on a property if I can't test drive it? A car is worth 10 to 20,000 and you're going to test drive that. It's a big expense. And it's a huge commitment to put $10,000 in a house, but $10,000 in a car. But if I spend $100,000 on a house, don't you think I should at least check it out? And like, well, I guess so. Well, Mr. John, what time can I go out to the property and test drive and actually look at it? And, I got to look at it and I'll give you a price. We can go from there. And then you talk from there and then boom, you get it done. That's the car method. You could really pitch it any way you want. I change it up sometimes, but always say, hey, have you ever test drove in a car? If the guy likes boats, I'll say that. Have you ever test drove in a boat? Of course I have. Well, I need to test drive the house before I look at it. I can't really give you a price till I actually look at it. Does that make sense? And that's good. That's the car method. It works really well for me. And it sounds really good. But yeah. So the $100 house method, this is another one. So this is when you actually go to the seller and you're actually at the house and they put you in a corner. They get you stuck. And this is where a lot of bad acquisitions people get really bad. Like this is where they just walk away with a $5,000 deal versus me walking away with a $40,000 deal. I don't talk about too much, but I want to give as much value as possible. These gurus are getting me a little more upset than usual today. So we're going to really give some of the information that I use to put them out of business. So what is the $100 house method? So let's say you're at the property or you're doing a virtual appointment and, you talk to the seller and they say, and I say, we connect about the Mets, we talk about fishing, we have a great time. And they say, all right, Zach, what price do you want to give me for the house? And like I've said before, never say the price first. So what can I do? What's my method here to actually get the price out of the seller without them really doing it like for themselves? Like I have to push it out of them. And they put me in a corner. They said, Zach, I have no idea what this property is worth. So you need to give me a price. 95% of the time they actually have a price in mind, but they write a Donald Trump closing the deal book and they know not to say the price first or something like that. Or they looked at something really quick on a real estate. They went to BuzzFeed and looked how to negotiate a real estate deal, or they did something like that. So you talk to a seller and they say, Zach, I have no idea what I want to sell the property for. You came here. You're the one here. You need to give me the price. And now you're stuck. Most wholesalers and acquisitions people are just going to give a price that's way too high and they're going to get stuck. Or the motivated seller is just going to keep hammering you and then you're going to give a very, very low offer and you're going to get kicked out of the house. So there's 2 ways to do this. And I actually just do the one way mostly, but you can do it a different way. So the one way, you can just give them a very low price, hope and pray you don't get kicked out of the house. I've been kicked out of so many houses like that. It's not good. This is the $100 method. This is better. Hey, Bethany. Okay, so you said you have no idea what you're going to sell the property for, what you want to sell it for me for cash. No, I have no idea. Okay. Well, will you sell the property for $100? And then she'll laugh. She'll say, no, I've never sold this for. Well, obviously then you have a price, right? So I guess I'll offer you $100 for the house. Like, is $100, is that what you'll take for? Like, I don't understand that you say you don't have a price for the property. So would you sell it for $100? No. Well, will he sell it for $200? $300, $400, $1,000? Like, no, I need to sell this for at least $40,000. That's how they go. It's amazing. They negotiate at like 30 and you get a contract for like 32, 33, and then boom, you get the deal. That's the $100 house method. I know some gurus are going to take this and, make a Facebook post and sponsor it and run ads and sell it as the $100 house. I don't give gurus permission to do that, but they're going to do it. So just letting you guys know about that little method. The last thing I can tell you here when it comes to sellers is use the scrunchy face method too, and get some pain in that scrunchy face. Now, a lot of you guys that watch a lot of Rick videos, Rick really showed me how to do this, and this was really cool. But the scrunchy face when you're giving offers to your seller is powerful. The scrunchy face, ooh, I've gotten so many deals using the scrunchy face. It is one of the best ones out there, and it's awesome. So when it comes to this scrunchy face method, you're going to have to expose some pain, and it works really well. So let's say we talk to the seller, we do the $100 house method, $100 house method. They say, Zach, $40,000 is my price. What we're going to do here is we're going to give them the scrunchy face. So we're going to say this. 40,000? How did you come up with that? You're killing me here, John. 40,000? That's a lot. Wow. Jeez. I mean, can you go lower on that? Like, that's way too high for me. That scrunchy face versus 40,000. Can you do 30? Those two differences is the slight thing for you to make an extra $10,000 to $15,000. And that is what I'm trying to give to you guys. Do a scrunchy face, get pain in there. Might need acting skills. I don't know, but it helps you so much in your acquisitions process. I cannot tell you enough. You start using this. Next here is pain points. Always expose the pain points if you have to give an offer. Saying, I know you want to get rid of this property. Mr. John, I know you have to get rid of this house within 30 days. There's a lot of repairs on this property. I mean, would you take 30? You expose the pain point. So explain the pain point to the seller and then give the offer from there. It works very well. Also, at the end, if you have to, create urgency and create a timeline for your seller. If they say, I don't know, or I got to think about it for tomorrow. Say, well, this offer is good for 2 days. If I can't get it, I'm just going to go buy another house. Create fear in your seller. And the last thing I can tell you right now, the number one way to kill your competition is with kindness. What do I mean by this? Not being kind to your competition. I mean, you could be kind to them, but being kind to your sellers. To kill your competition, use kindness and be more kind to your sellers. Your sellers will understand this and you'll destroy your competition. That is what I can tell you right now. That is my real estate wholesaling acquisitions process from there. And that is how you start getting deals done. And that's how you destroy competition. This was a seminar, 38 minutes. People would pay $5,000 just to listen to that for a 3-day seminar. That's what it's all condensed into. They got fillers. Hey, let's go on a boat here. Let's do networking events in between. And we'll talk raw case studies. That's what a $5,000 3-day seminar looks like right there. Let's answer some questions. Beto420 says, what's up? I think so. That's contract plus. All right. Nick says, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Good vibes. Thanks for sharing, Derek. Thank you so much. Hey, Kino, how are you? Kino says, when cold calling and asking if a person is willing to sell the property, if they ask for a price on the spot, what can you do? Do the car method I just said. Ask them if they've ever test driven a car. Say that you have to test drive the car and ask them how crazy it would be to buy a car without test driving it. They'll say no. Well, it'd be crazy for me to buy a house without test driving it to understand the price. That's what you do, Kino. Answer the question. Baku says, always. Let's go. Jalen with the fire. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. All right, thank you so much. Try to pull a code violation list. They told me I have to give them a specific address. Should I do a FOIA request? Yes. Let me know what market that is also, John. John. No, John. Simplicity in wholesaling needs to come back. I want to bring back 2 things for wholesaling. Well, 3 things. One thing I'll introduce. So, number one here, I want to introduce simplicity back into wholesaling real estate. Simplicity has not been in wholesaling real estate. We're making this process too complicated. Wholesaling real estate should not be complicated. It should be simple and easy. Creative finance, all the other crazy stuff in wholesaling should be a little more advanced. We want to make wholesaling simple and easy because it is. Next, I want to bring back empathy into our real estate wholesaling. Empathy needs to be back. We need to start caring about sellers, caring about fellow wholesalers. Mental health is important for entrepreneurs too. We want to start caring about people a lot more. I'm telling you, it will bring everyone up. That is a rising tide. Will bring up the boats with empathy and wholesaling, especially with the gurus. Just this cutthroat business thing is not good. JVing works. Guys, we need to work together, guys, to become better wholesalers. And lastly, I want to but introduce wholesaling not as a paid thing or something you have to pay to learn. Wholesaling should be free. You should learn wholesaling for free. You should not. The only thing you should pay for is a lawyer if you have to use a lawyer for something. But I cannot tell you this enough, guys. This is all free information. I had to put in my sweat, my grind, everything to learn this. And I could have charged you thousands of dollars for this information, which probably is worth it, honestly. But I want to give it for free because there's too many people making millions off of you guys that I just want to give it all for free. Spill the secrets. I make enough money in my wholesaling business, a 7-figure net operation that in Port St. Lucie, Florida, that I don't really care about making money off you guys. That's just, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for a legacy thing. And I want to change the way wholesaling's been done because I care about this wholesaling industry more than a lot of people. And I want to change it. So just bringing empathy into wholesalers because people need to be more empathetic in this world. And it's not like a manly thing or a cool bad boy. Guys, just caring about people, honestly, it's amazing. You guys got to start doing it. It will bring you more wholesaling deals, I promise you, and making things for free so the people can learn wholesaling real estate. This is this thing. There should be no barriers to entry. I started at 17 years old. I want fellow 17-year-olds to get in there and go with it. I have $300 in my bank account. I went from 300 to where I'm at now. And you guys, I want to bring it to me because I did this without seeing any of this information. If I had this information, it would have saved me years. I can't even imagine where I'd be at now if I had this YouTube channel. That's why I do it. What could I do if I was 17? How could I make a YouTube channel that would change the way that I'd look at it, where I can be light years ahead? I'd be at like 5 or 10 million a year net if I had this information starting out. I had to grind and learn it. Keno says motivation, condition, time frame, price. That's it. Zach be teaching. I love it. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Eduardo says, can leads be found by asking those listing if they have a distressed property on their portfolio, prompting a situation, or said property was sold sooner? Yeah, you can do it. It'd be a little tougher. Johnny says, taking notes to retain the info. Thanks, man, for the gems. Thank you so much. Hey, man, where can I get your version of contracts? Let me go pull it up for you right now. Let's see where I'm at. No. On the bottom here, man, it's www.flipwithrick.com/contracts or contract. www.flipwithrick.com/contract. That is my free contract. Go out there and get it. Confidence is key, Taylor. You are spot on with the money right there. Confidence is everything. Omar says, thanks for the awesome stream, Zach. It's getting easier to understand how to do this business. That is my goal. I'm trying to give this stuff for you guys for free. The more you guys watch this video, that's why I do a video a day on this YouTube channel. Because repetition is the mother of success. If I keep not repeating because I give new information every time, but generally it's the same concepts. If I just keep hammering this wholesaling process to you, keep watching these videos every day, you will understand this process. I promise you. You have to put in the work learning this business so you can go out there and be successful. You can become a millionaire within a year if you just put in the grind watching this stuff. I'm telling you right now. Sarah, what's up, Sarah? Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Got the water. Of course, I'm going to hydrate. What is TAV? Tax assessed value. Dwayne says use the Feynman technique. I don't know what that is. Let me look it up. Someone's going to ask. The Feynman technique is how many steps? 4 steps. Step 1, identify the topic. The first step in the Feynman learning process is think of a subject that you'd like to learn or a topic you'd like to test yourself for understanding. Step 2, teach it to a child. Step 3, review your explanation. And 4, simplify and refine. I really like that. That's cool. Boom. I'm learning from doing these lives. I love it. Match the same energy, 100%. RVM legal in Arizona? Yes, but it might be phased out, so be careful. Dang, I've been saying I was an investor the whole time. Justin, you can say it. I've had better results just being the regular dude that's trying to buy a property. You could say investor, but I think it's just got a bad connotation. Ever since 2008, I think it's had a bad connotation in real estate. Sounds like playing hard to get. It does work, I'm telling you. That's good. Thanks, Georgia. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Got some great questions on here. Let's see. It says, I tell all the clients I do not make blind offers. I'd like to sit down and experience the house and knowing that I'm getting myself into. Huge. Same thing as the car thing. It's a great one. Awesome. I missed it. What was the substitute for investor? I'm just a regular dude trying to buy a house. That's the substitute for it. Lulu says, how do you feel about sending a video of yourself to potential sellers instead of a regular text? I was watching a different video on SMS texting and this was right. Yeah, video would be great. Most people watch it. More people watch a text than a video, but yeah, do it. Test it out. Let me know the results. Thank you. Great content, Zach. Thank you so much. This is awesome. Zach, thank you. Thank you. Great content. So true and play dumb. I'm telling you, it works. Steven wants to know if anyone's in the Dallas market. Let me know. Let me know. Great content. Very appreciative. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. Sharing is caring. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see here. Can I get some live help? I've been going back and forth with the seller for about a year and a half. I'll use the link to join and talk if you like. Sure. Let me see if I can pop up a link here. I'll pop the link for you, bro. You can hop on if you want. I'll put it in the comments. Let's see. All right. Sure. I mean, I think it helps for acquisitions if I do that, so sure. I know so lately a lot of sellers have sent my offer to their attorney after I send it. How do you deal with that? Honestly, you just make sure, I guess. That's what I can say. There's nothing you can do if they send it to an attorney. Not a lot of sellers do that. So just make sure you have a good legal contract and it should do very well.
No. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Doing good. How can I help you out?
Yeah, so I've been going back and forth with this seller for about a year and a half now. And when I first talked to him, he was wanting $120,000. Now that the area is starting to grow, there's a bunch of investors that's like sending out these like $220,000, $210,000 offers, but nobody is like actually pulling the trigger to move forward. And after talking to him some more, like it's just been passed down to him from his father, but it's 8 other siblings involved. So I'm trying to think like, should I go about this in a way of trying to compete with other investors, or should I break it down? Because when I had broke it down to him, I had asked him, I'm like, so are you really looking for $220,000, or what's the best number that you guys want individually, since the money will be separate, split up evenly? And it came up to be about $26,000 after all the offers me and him had talked about. And I'm like, should I go about it? Hold on, Leo. Should I go about it in a way of giving them like separate or split numbers instead of trying to just give him one big number? Because he's set on the 200,000, but the area is not worth 200,000 right now, and he knows that. That's why no investor is even moving forward with those offers that they're giving him. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way for me to get him into the range that we need him to be, and still, be able to move forward with everything.
That's a good method. What I can tell you is sometimes when you're dealing with a seller for a year, they're just tire kickers. Sometimes the motivation has to be so great that they're willing to pull the trigger to sell a property. And it seems like he's still shopping it around.
Yeah.
I would ask him the number one thing is like, why don't you list the property? List it, get the highest price. Mr. Seller, if you want the highest price, here is John Smith. He's a great realtor. Go with him.
Yeah.
Give him the key. Have you ever seen the Batman movie with Joker?
I have not, no.
Oh, okay. There's a scene in there where the Joker is dealing with a lot of people watch it. He's dealing with the Two-Face guy, And he gives the guy the gun, and he's like, if you pull the trigger, you can go after me and just kill me. But the guy's got his finger on the thing, so it won't hurt him. But he's giving him the power to go and do the threat. But he doesn't do it.
Right.
But he gives him the threat. So you give the threat of saying, you go with the realtor, don't even deal with me. And the guy's like, wow, this guy actually cares about me. He actually, you know what? He cares about me getting, if I actually care about the highest price possible, he will go out there and he'll go help me out. And then be like, you know what? You're a great guy. Let me just go with you. I don't want to sell it with a realtor because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with sellers who want to deal with a realtor. If he's been waiting a year, he's tire kicking you. So go out there and just say, hey, I'm ready to buy this property. I'm at this price. What is it? What price are you at on it?
I'm at about 170. And the area is average about 230, but my buyer is like, I'll take it at 170 because I would actually hold this, and this would be something I would keep long term.
And you did everything.
Yeah, the reason he isn't going with a realtor because he thought about it, but he's like, I just don't want them to get all the extra fees, and they're trying to make him list it lower. But like I said, he's getting like people in his ear like, hey, we'll buy it at this price, but they never go forward. So he's like, the realtor wants me to list it at 150. Because that's what it's worth, because it'll need some work. But he's getting other investors like, I mean, we can probably do this around 200, 210, 220. So he's like, that's where his head is at. But I'm trying to like tell him like it's never going to sell at that price, because if it would, it would have sold already.
I can give you $20,000 each by the end of the month, but I need an answer by, what is it, 28th or 29th?
Yeah.
I need an answer by July 1st. If not, I don't know if I can help you. This is the only one that's solid. Everyone else has not helped you out, Mr. Smith. Next offer I'm going to give you is probably less.
Yeah.
Give the ultimatum. That helps a lot too. Are you meeting this guy in person?
Yeah, I mean, person or in call. Like I had my buyer go over to his property yesterday, and she saw it and she met with him. But yeah, it's either in person or we're on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give him an ultimatum and try that. 20,000 each. That would make you 10K.
Yeah.
And then go from there. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. A year is a lot. Like, you don't want someone to scoop this up. So
yeah,
that's what I'd go with.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate the help, definitely.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Any other questions I can do to help you out in acquisitions?
No, I'm good. I appreciate it.
All right, man. You can't make someone sell. You give them the fear, and that's it. Because they keep wasting your time. And it's just, hey, they're using you as an option. Like, hey, Isaiah will buy my house if I can't get anyone else. Just say, hey, I'm going to leave if you don't do this.
Yeah.
It works really well. That's the one thing I can tell you.
Okay. All right, cool. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I noticed lately a lot of sellers have sent my offer. I already answered that one. Great information put into use. What's up, Zach? Off topic. I have a list of homes that have been condemned in the market I'm in from a code violation. Is there anything I can do? Cold call that list. It's a great one still with cash buyers. Can you give me the script to use? Search cold calling in my name or cold calling space flip with the Rico. It should pop up pretty easily. Kara says, what if you're wholesaling virtually and set up an appointment to talk with the seller and they send pictures excluding bad pics with damages? Do you have the boots on the ground to have a cash buyer confirm the condition? I'll still have a boots on the ground to take the pictures. What if the attorney says something about low earnest deposit? We'll explain this as an off-market deal. That's the way I do it. I checked cash sale data in Tampa, and it's down half from past month. What are your thoughts on wholesaling FSBOs? There are a lot of them. Thomas, look at my cold calling videos. I have about 3 of them out there. I cold call for 2 hours straight on each one, about 6 hours of cold calling FSBOs. Copy that word for word on Tampa or your virtual market. Do Pinellas County, do Hillsborough. You should do well, man. FSBOs are absolutely amazing. Cash sale data is probably down because inventory is down. That's what I can tell you. Floor is not too competitive for beginners. I mean, I was a beginner when I started out too, so you should do fine, man. It should be good. Virtual is a little harder, but in person, you should do fine. Do you use the same acquisitions rules for wholesaling land also, or do you approach land sellers different? It's usually the same thing. Respect, thank you. Owner lives in Cali, but is somewhat old and can't get back to Florida to clear home of moments. I have been trying to close for almost a year, but COVID and distance slowed this down. If you really can't, depends how much stuff's in the house. If it's a lot, then it might. I would buy them a plane ticket if it's a good enough deal, right? That's what I would say. And get them over here, put in storage, pay for it, and then get the deal and let them take care of it. Where VAs ever cold call? Yes, they cold call all the time. Yeah, I've done a lot more sub twos. I was only doing lease options before I had this podcast with him. But yeah, we started doing our more sub twos. But we've really been doing a lot more lease options. So it was really cool. That was like almost 2 years. No, 18 months. That was insane. It was a crazy long time. It's crazy how much crazy stuff's happened on this channel. What cities have you, as you've seen the best results during SMS texting? I would say Port St. Lucie, Florida, obviously for me. Knoxville's been really good. And Greenville, Tennessee. Greenville, South Carolina, sorry. I'm teaching my VAs how to do this. You're a giver, bro. Thank you so much. If you don't have a cash buyers list yet because you are just starting, how much time would you give them as an expectation to close without losing them? 45 days. That's what I would say. To build that cash buyers list and get it up. I'm new and doing everything myself. What's up, Natasha? I'm new and doing this myself. Do you have any tips with balancing everything when you get the acquisition stage, you close the seller? So when you get the, you close the seller. I really balance it by just meeting with the property and getting the deal done there. I don't know what you mean by balancing everything. So when you get to the acquisition stage, you close the seller. I go full speed on everything, especially starting out. I do as much marketing and much acquisitions and as much dispo as I can. As much free time as you have to learn the process of everything, I would put it in there. Who can I use for postcards? I use Open Letter Marketing. Anyone in Armelio, Texas? Let's see here. Car Method Fire, thank you so much. Dallas in the house. Let's go. Great markets, guys. Any tips for pulling expired lists with agents for deals? Use listrei.com, listrei.com. What do you say when the seller calls after reading purchase and sale that you use the property as an investment, but you substituted not to say you were an investor in the first place? I don't put an investment on a property. I just put myself or my LLC on there or my corporation. So under purchase and sale agreements, the word investor is not in there. I mean, and or assigns is in there, obviously for wholesaling, but it's not in there. How can I use the FOIA to get water shutoffs? You don't need that. I just use listrei.com on difficult places, and it'll pull up the utility liens and tax liens for the water shutoffs pretty easy. What is considered a good deal numbers-wise? For me, it's over 40,000. For the average wholesaler, it's 15. We just have very large margins in Florida. We're not getting like, it's not like I'm doing 40 deals a month, but we're getting a good amount of deals and they're over 30, 40, $50,000. That's a good one for us. I'm in the Miami market, a little tougher, but you could still do deals there. How do you get a list of properties with municipal liens, city website, or call them directly? Go to the clerk of the court. You should pop it up really easy, Samuel. Or if you got a lot of money, just use listrei.com, listrei.com, listrei.com. But really, all you just go is the clerk of the court for the county. That should pop it up. No, out of a minimum population. If it's a population of one house and it's a great deal and there's a buyer in the next town over, it's perfect. Luke says, where do I find my VAs? Upwork.com, upwork.com. Or I use onlinejobs.phoneline jobs.ph.com. I was watching the spelling bee last night, so I'm into spelling now. I don't know why. Why are they having it on ESPN? I have no idea. What's up, Zach? After I got code violations from my market, they also gave me a condemned list. Can I do anything? Cold call it. I think I answered that one. Kevin says, I have 10K in capital and consider hiring 2 cold callers and then closing and doing dispo myself. Is that a good idea? That's a good idea. I would probably look into some virtual wholesaling too if you're in Miami and have VAs cold call like a high equity list, like a high equity vacant list. I think it'll be really good. Unbelievable. This is brilliant. I will offer 2 plane tickets so she can help and maybe pay for storage on shipping back to Cali. Thank you so much. The only thing I can tell you, 21D Solo, make sure the deal has enough equity for you to be able to afford it. If this is like a $2,000 deal, it's not worth it. If it's like 20, 30, then yes. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Always be creative with your offers. You're here to, like, honestly, you get paid for helping sellers out in their situations. So that's a big solution. You probably get a good amount, like a really good deal. Hey, Zach, you're great. What advice do you have for realtors trying to start wholesaling? Same as regular. If it's on a good deal, maybe list the property, but really not much. I mean, there's not really a big difference. Obviously, you're licensed. Make sure your broker's okay with it, but not much, like not really a big deal. I think you should be the same. You don't get as much credibility, but always disclose. That's one thing as a realtor. Always, always, always disclose. Disclose your seller that you're a realtor. Disclose to everyone you're a realtor. You should be fine. I appreciate you, man. I got 4 deals so far. Let's go. I started back in November. I watch you every day. I want to scale up and get more consistent. Ace, you are the man or the woman. Don't know who this is. That looks like a man with a camera, but I could be wrong. Whoever you are, person, you are amazing. Congrats. I really appreciate you. Let's go. 4 deals. That pumps me up. Thank you so much for watching my content. It means so much to me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kevin. Would you do a private coaching for money? No. Go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. Let me put on the little ticker on the bottom. Facebook.com/group/Wholesaling Houses for Real. Thursday, join me on the private one-on-one things. It will be on YouTube, but the link, you got to go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. Facebook.com/group/Wholesaling Houses for Real. Or go to Facebook, search Wholesaling Houses for Real, and it should pop up on there for you, and we can get it going. Have you used Deal Machine or PropStream to find deals? I use listrei.com, so basically PropStream, yes. How will you comp houses with none in the area? I use cash flow comps one, so I look at how much a property is selling for, and I figure out what the comps on that property will be, if that makes sense, through cash flow. So if I know the property at max will rent for $1,000 a month, divide that by 1%. $1,000 divided by 1% is $100,000. That's a good comp. Or do reverse wholesaling where you ask the cash buyer how much they'll pay for the property. Haha, yeah, man. Let's get it in the Virginia market. Awesome, man. I love it. It took me 1.5 years, 1.5 years to truly believe in the thoughts of helping people, truly having no intent but to help people in this. And this was the first month I had multiple closings. I got 2 listing agreements out of it. Luke, I can tell you, it's not the karma. I believe in this like divine karma thing, but dude, I don't know. It just works. Just caring about people, it works. And not actually having a true, like, stupid, like, underlining, I'm going to help people so I get better. Just giving without the expectations of receiving ends up being the best. How do I go to listrei.com? Let me pop it up for you. Have you had cash buyers in Florida close in 7 days? I'm looking at Kissimmee. Yes. Do the VAs that you experience know what to say when cold calling leads when you hire them? Never used any. Yes, we have our own training process for it, but yes, they know exactly what to do. They really follow a script. Kara says, so you pay for boots on the grounds before you know if they will even sell to you. If you have 5 sellers, if you're talking to them, pay for 5 sets of picks and end up. Yes, basically. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Well, actually, okay. So we do 2 methods. If it's a really hot deal and we have to get something done and the person doesn't live in the property and it's vacant, we'll get pictures. Usually we lock it up and then we'll take pictures, but really we like to take pictures before if we can. Thanks, bro. I believe that too. Divine compensation. I love it. Guys, thank you so much. This is my acquisitions training. This is where I'm just trying to give as much acquisition knowledge as possible. I'm telling you guys right now, you should not be paying for this information. This information should be free. It needs to be free. I'm trying to bring the wholesaling process back. I try to make everything as free as possible to help you guys out in your real estate wholesaling business. I want you to make 100K without paying a guru. Let's do it, guys.